What is up, guys and girls? Hurricane Liz here, and in this video I show you how much of my Walmart stores made in the month of January. And I think you guys are going to be fired up. One of them is a done for you and the other one's a done with you. So if you don't know what that is, I suggest you watch this video because I'm about to show you exactly what they did and you won't want to miss this. So I'm fired up. Hope you're fired up. Let's do this. All right, so we're here on my screen share and I'm going to show you the stats behind two stores. So I'll explain a little bit about each of the stores here in a second. First, I just wanted to make sure, in case you guys do want to talk about either getting full-on automation, which is all done for you, and or how to do this yourself, my email is below in the description box, so feel free to reach out and we can jump on a call. I'd be more than happy to talk to you about it. But now let's jump into these stores. So I am going to reveal for the first time today the results of the store that is done with you, which basically means I've got to put a lot of work into it. Now, keep in mind, it's going to be drastically different than the store where you've got a whole team doing this. And that's for one big reason, that's experience. So even though when I had to figure this all out myself, initially I did start by doing the work on these stores. Things have evolved, things have drastically changed. So it's an ever evolving business. So you have to stay on top of things. So as a result, there's some things that I had to second guess. I had to ask my team in terms of what I had to do and really figure things out. So I now have like enough experience to be able to progress and evolve and then move forward and scale the store up. But you're going to see the numbers are vastly different. So I want you to keep that in mind before you jump in there and say like, oh shit, Liz, you suck. I can't believe you have numbers that are that bad, or I can't make enough money at this. Yeah, it's a little difficult. The other thing I want you to keep in mind as you're looking at these stores is that margins are generally about 20%. You want to just leave it at 20%. That can obviously vary if you have tax exemption or a lot of other factors, but in mind, just keep it at 20% because I know I'm always going to get that question like, oh yeah, it looks fantastic, but there's no way you're doing $14,000 a week. And you are absolutely correct, sir or madam. I'm not doing that, but keep in mind the 20% number, and I literally need a calculator to figure that thing out. It's like 20%. I don't even know how to take that into consideration. So 14,000 times 20% is about $3,000 in profit a week on this particular store. So this is the age store. It's over a year old. Last year it did over 800K in sales. And in the last 7 days, it's done $14,633 and selling quite well. If we take a look back at what it did in the month of January, which is the first month, which people think, oh, you know, January sucks. It's not that good. Christmas is over. Boo-hoo. No, the reality is January is just as good as Christmas. This one did 73K, which comes out to about $14,000 if you take a 20% margin in profit. Now, during the month of Christmas, I believe going back and thinking about the income report on this one did 80K, which means $16,000 in profit. Again, a lot of factors come into play when you think about how profitable this store is. The first and foremost biggest factor being its age. So it's aged, it does extremely well. It's got quite an affinity to the niche. And what I mean by that is that when you sell in one particular niche for a given period of time, that Walmart will give you kind of like a more traffic. They'll reward you because you sell in that niche, and they'll begin to give you a lot more traffic related to that niche, so you'll make a lot more sales. That's exactly what's happened in this one just because of the age. And $73,000, it's $15,000 almost in profits that this store takes home in the past 30 days. And again, age store makes a drastic difference. Now, let's go ahead and hop on over to the brand new store, and then we'll talk a little bit about what we have to consider with this brand new store. First and foremost, it's fairly new. We talked about this in a previous video, and that is when you have a store that's just a lot older, it tends to do well. But this store was a converted store. And what I mean by that is at one point, this store was a standard dropshipping store, just as the other store was. So neither of them are new in age, but they are new in terms of the type of business model, which means they've both been converted over two-step, and now they have that extra step involved. This does bring some risk to the store. A lot of convert stores can at some point see a suspension, particularly in the first 3 months of existing as a two-step, but it's very rare. So that's the advantage of starting with a new store. But the advantage of starting with the age store is just the fact that it can crush pretty fast. With this one, it's a little bit more difficult because this is a done with you store. So what does that mean? That means my team provides all the listings for you. They provide all the sourcing of the products. You've got to put in the work. So what does the work mean, right? It means you got to do the customer service. It means you've got to do the ordering of the products from Amazon, and you've got to do the prepping, packing, and the shipping of the products that leave your warehouse, or in this case, it's your house. Now, I have talked about in previous videos how it's important to be able to have the ability to receive at least 20 to 40 packages a day at your residential address. A lot of people don't have that luxury. I have since figured a workaround, which I do give anybody that does a done with you service. I tell them what the workaround is and how to be able to go about that, because I live in a high rise. So for me, I can't do that. I can't get 40 packages a day without raising some red flags and people being pretty pissed off at me. So I've got to be very careful that I don't go over that amount, and I've got to work around to that, and that will be able to make these stores work for anyone, regardless of where in the hell they live. So with those things being said, just understand, again, this is a done with you. So I had to do the legwork. I had to do the work, and it's not as easy as it seems. You do have to have a couple hours a day. It takes a couple different things to be able to scale it up. Of course, at some point later, you can get an employee. I found a few workarounds to make it work that much faster. You obviously, once you get in the flow and you start to figure out how this works out, then you'll do the same. So let's take a look at the numbers, and then we'll discuss a couple other nuances of this particular store, and as well as the other one, and how we're going to move forward in growing, in scaling both of the stores. So last 7 days, about $204. That's not really a lot. But if we look at the last 30 days, this store did a total of $4,100 at about a 20% margin. That's $800. Now this one, I can say this much about this one. It had a lot less margin, only because we had to do a couple things to optimize the store. And so it did a lot less, but in the second month, it should clearly hit the 20% goal, and we should scale up to about 10K. Now, there was a couple things that we had to figure out in terms of scalability. One of them was, again, the workaround in order to receive more packages. The other thing that we're going to be doing is adding more listings to the store to help it scale. And there's a couple other things that we can do in the future, but for now, those are the two biggest things that we'll focus on moving forward to scale this store. So it should see some pretty big months around 6 months out. Like, I know a lot of people are in a hurry to make this work and to be able to replace their regular income, but this is more a longer term model. And remember, because we are doing two-step, this is going to last a lot longer. Any standard drop shipping store, in Walmart particularly, even on Amazon, is going to fail pretty quick, and that's because they're either terminating and suspending. And Walmart, if you get suspended, then they'll eventually re-engage you and you'll be able to jump back on the platform. But if you get terminated, it takes you 6 months to get your money back. Whereas on Amazon, if you get terminated, you are fucked, people. Like, they're going to keep your money, and I've seen instances where they keep it forever. I mean, I got friends on Amazon that have millions of dollars stuck, and it's been stuck there for well over a year. So they don't give two shits that you got to pay taxes. They don't give two shits that you have to pay vendors. They don't care. They will hold your money. It's downright and borderline criminal. So again, do not get stuck falling into the trap of doing the easy drop shipping route. You will get terminated. Least likely you'll get suspended, which at least you'll get your account back. But if and when you do get terminated, and I shouldn't even say if there, when you get terminated, they are going to hold your money. If you're lucky enough to get terminated on Walmart, consider that a win, because at least you know you've got 180 days. The clock is ticking to get your money back. But Amazon, they don't give two shits. They will keep that money, and that is why they are not only like the richest, one of the richest companies in the world, but they can get away with murder and still be good. So that you don't want to do. So standard drop shipping, stay away from. Two-step is the new model, whether you execute it on Walmart and or Amazon. I mean, clearly the margins on Amazon aren't going to be as good as they are on Walmart. That's primarily because it's much newer on Walmart. So stick to two-step drop shipping. Only use that model, and understand that it's going to take gradual growth over an extended period of time to hit your goals. But as you saw from our other store, $14,000 a month in profit, the brand new one, right around almost $1,000 mark. Next month, you'll see those both scale up fairly easily. The $14,000 per month store is going to take a little bit more effort to scale up. In a lot of regards, that one's fine. $14,000 a month. You can't ask for that much more without just getting downright greedy. It's easier to just scale a separate store. So that's why this separate store exists. This is a done with you. If it was a done for you, it would clearly scale a lot faster. But as long as we can get that steady growth, at some point, it can always be converted into a done for you, which will be terrific. But other than that, that's a breakdown of the income reported for these two stores in January of this year, 2023. Now, if you'd like to talk about either a done for you and or a done with you or consulting, my email is below in the description box. I'd be more than happy to jump on a call and discuss your options with you. And that's pretty much it for this video. I'll see you next time.